U.S. President Barack Obama says he wants to go ahead with military intervention in Syria, but it won't happen until the U.S. Congress has had a chance to debate it. For a Syrian-Canadian perspective on those developments, we now go to Faisal Alazem. He's a spokesperson for the Syrian-Canadian Council, and he joins us now from Montreal. Faisal, thanks for being with us. So,
thank you for having me.
We heard Obama saying a delayed strike on Syria today, saying he would wait for a congressional vote, but still made it pretty clear he wants to go ahead with military action. What was your reaction to his comments?
Well, I think the general impression that we took is that President Obama is telegraphing to Bashar al-Assad that your regime will remain. We are not going after you or not going after a regime change. However, for our own credibility and because you made a fool out of us by crossing every possible red line that human conscience and international law can put, we have to punish you. So this is really the general impression that I got, at least, and a big slice of the Syrian community.
Interesting. So you don't feel that he wants to push the Assad regime out?
Well, it's quite bizarre because for the past 2 years at least, the U.S. administration, the Canadian, the Western world has been clear in asking Bashar al-Assad to step aside. However, we did not hear clear indications that the military operations, if approved by Congress, would have this objective. It was more a talk of punitive actions and specific actions to punish the regime for its use of chemical weapons, but not necessarily to go after regime change. And obviously, anyone that has been following this revolution and following the sacrifices of Syrians and what they have been asking for is a regime change, is something similar to what we've seen in Kosovo, neutralizing all the tools of the regime that they have applied to get us to where we're at today. Over 100,000 people killed, a third of the country displaced, and a humanitarian disaster by every epic catastrophic proportion, unfortunately.
By every measure. Faisal, you have family in Syria. When you speak to them, what do they say they want at this point?
They really want an end to the nightmare, and it's very clear whatever you stand and on the political spectrum, that Bashar al-Assad cannot be part of any reconciliation era or a transitional period of Syria. And how do we get Bashar al-Assad out? Is dialogue or political solution possible with someone who uses chemical weapons, killing more than 1,400 people in less than an hour, using MiG jet fighters, throwing cluster bombs out of helicopters indiscriminately, shelling, using Scud and ballistic missiles? The answer is no, because it has already been tried through the Arab League, Kofi Annan, Al-Akhdar Ibrahimi, and unfortunately, same as the case of Milosevic when he was committing genocide in Bosnia, and even going back to Hitler in the Second World War, certain dictators can only be pushed out by force.
Faisal, Canada's position seems to be one of non-military support. Is there anything else you'd like to see Canada doing to help Syrians right now?
Absolutely. There is a huge non-military role that Canada can play on the humanitarian level. There is a huge need for medical aid inside Syria. 25% of all the deaths and fatalities in Syria are caused by injuries that are not treated. So we've been asking, and hopefully we will get some support in supporting field hospitals inside Syria, education, so that the children of Syria continue their life despite all this nightmare. There are a lot of programs of education inside refugee camps and schools on the Syrian-Turkish border and the Jordanian-Syrian border that have been established as well in the rebel-controlled areas to support having a judiciary system, supporting as well a police body. I know that Mr. Sabra asked Minister Byrd that in their meeting, and as well taking care of our Syrian-Canadian residents of Canada who have families that are stuck in the countryside of Damascus where chemical weapons took place, in areas where cleansing and massacres took place, to facilitate their bringing to Canada through family reunification programs. And
Faisal, there is clearly a lot of need and obviously a lot of room for the Canadian government to help. I just want to ask you, we're running out of time, but as you read the news day to day about developments in Syria, what worries you the most?
Well, what I hope for Syria is to be an independent country, a Syria for all Syrians, where it has control of its own decision-making. We do not want to be under the sphere of Iran anymore, or Russia. We do not want to be under the sphere of any other regional power. We want Syria for all Syrians. There is too much blood, too many sacrifices were paid. The price was so high for Syrians to bring down this regime. We deserve to live in freedom, and we deserve a Syria for all Syrians. And this is what I hope for.
Faisal, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.